welcome to this edition of the Evening Review. My name is Taiwan Jabela, your host for tonight. Let's look at the front page of Namibian Sun of today. Tonight, I'm having a singular honor of being joined on the couch by my friend Sunny Boy. He's a musical artist, and he's here to talk to us about business and other things. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
it's a pleasure to be here.
Sure.
Yeah.
Man, of course, the question on everybody's mind at the moment is the events of last weekend.
Yes.
A lot has been said about you and other top artists having supposedly violated the state of emergency regulations.
Yeah.
And then people were arrested, people were taken to police stations. What happened on Saturday?
Well, the initial plan was to have an online concert, which was to, help in the fight, combat of COVID-19, just to create awareness, to encourage people that, to give them hope, encourage them to stay home, and play it safe until the whole, deal is done.
Yeah.
So I met up with Tommy, he's the owner of Funky Lab. We had a discussion, we planned everything to have this show.
Yeah.
Everything was going according to plan. We were slightly delayed by technical problems.
Yeah.
So we kind of started a bit late.
Yeah.
Actually, we didn't even start before the whole ordeal started. So while we were there busy setting up, the police shows up. Yeah, like a whole lot of police officers. Yeah, I felt like a drug raid, the type of things that you see in the movies. Yeah, it was crazy. So they show up and then they start, asking for alcohol. Actually, before they got in, because we had locked the doors, I just saw flashlights by the window, like, hey, open. Yeah. So now the door was locked and we couldn't open because one of the staff members who had the key, I think, went to the bathroom or something. So for them, maybe thought we were trying to hide or something, Yeah. So I was running around looking for the guy, and the guys were banging on the door like, open! Yeah. They had actually jumped the fence.
I see.
Yeah, they jumped the fence and then they moved in and then, they started grabbing us and say, hey, where's the alcohol? Yeah. How are you here? I'm like, no, sir. With all due respect, we just want to shoot an online concert, about COVID-19. Yeah, and that's when everything started going crazy. All of a sudden I'm seeing people that are popping up from nowhere behind. I didn't know that there were so many people in the establishment. I don't know how they got in there, who they came to see, because where we were, there weren't so many people who were kind of following the regulations. There were probably around 9 people in the lounge where we were shooting. But behind it there were some other people.
Were you guys consuming alcohol? Like, were you disobeying the social distancing rules?
No, we definitely maintain social distancing. Yeah. Maybe I get close to the camera guy just to make sure that the angle is okay. But everybody was sitting here. Top Cherry with her, entourage, her artists were sitting there. My dancers were here. my other guest, my neighbors, was also, we were all good, you know, we were following the protocol. Yeah, and we were not drinking.
And they took you to the police station. What happened there? Did you guys post some sort of bail and let go? What happened there?
When we got there, we were, you know, we were asking like, what happened? Why are we being treated like this? Because they had to round us up, put us in a queue, and then put us in the back of the van, like criminals. You know, which was, I think, was uncalled for, because we were complying to everything that they were saying. And the police station is just there. We could actually even just walked.
Is it the Windhoek police station?
Yeah, the Windhoek town police station. But then when we got there, they were like, no, you broke some regulations. I understand the fact that because we surpassed the amount of people that are supposed to be in an area, which was beyond my control. I don't really know what happened. I also still take that blame because, you know, I'm supposed to maybe be extra cautious. Yeah. The only thing I would say we did not follow was to get a permit that we want to host a show of this, you know, like this, and we want to do this and want to do that, but we didn't, and that's where I knew like, oh, that was my mistake. But then, according to how I communicated with the owner of the establishment, I thought he had done it. Only come to realize that he hasn't. And that's where maybe the problem also came. In their mind, they thought we were clubbing and partying and selling liquor, alcohol, but there was no alcohol there. And they found like a bottle, like a little bit of alcohol here, and the owner, you know, said, no, it's a lounge, so there must be some sort of liquor, you know, around there somewhere, maybe left, you know, from those previous days, you know. So they assumed that we were drinking and everything.
But how did you get released? You had to pay, or did they?
They had to fine us. Each and everybody was fined 2,000 Namibian dollars. Well, when we got there, and then the whole process was going on, the police officers asked us questions. We complied. We answered. They gave us, you know, like we signed some papers and whatnot. And they were about to release us. They had actually released us until the chief came. The chief, I think, commander. Commissioner or something, he came, and then he did not understand how we were released like that. Like, no, how do you just release people when they, you know, have not paid or anything like that? This corruption was screaming corruption. And we didn't know because we were just there. We were just doing whatever it is that we were told to do. Sign here, put your thing, take a picture, whatever it is that we had to do, we did. And when we were released, that's when we were about to go out, they call us back in and say, no, you guys are rearrested, you are under arrest again because things don't add up. So we had to go back in there, and that's when like the nightmare started, because now we had to do everything all over again. And we had to stay there for 18 hours straight, no sleeping, standing there. Nothing to eat, nothing to drink.
I see. Do you recognize that being Sunny Boy, the music star, that you inspire a lot of people, and that do you think you should have behaved differently, especially in the context of you being a role model?
No, definitely. I realize, you know, I know for a fact that nobody is above the law. And that's why we had to comply. I had to calm everybody down because some people didn't understand. I had to calm everybody down, like, guys, you have to respect the law. You have to respect the officers, do whatever it is that we're supposed to do, because we are the ones who are at fault here at the end of the day. It doesn't mean because you are Sunny Boy, you can do whatever it is that you please. And that was not the intention at all. My intention was just to, you know, one thing is to make sure that I remain relevant in the eyes of my people, because they miss us, we don't get to perform anymore. And then my second thing is also was just to help, you know, create awareness, because when somebody says it, it's okay, but when some Sunny Boy says it, then like maybe we should listen to Sunny Boy, because that's the influence that we have towards the nation. You know, we are role models. What we do, people follow. If we start drinking in public, people will be like, oh, let's also drink. And
which brings me exactly to my next question. To say that at your level, do you feel that sometimes you get overly and perhaps unfairly scrutinized because you're a Sunny Boy, that somehow everything that you do, everything that you say gets actually scrutinized?
Yeah, man, it's an everyday thing for us. You, as a public figure, you basically walk on eggshells, you know. You gotta watch where you walk, what you do, what you say. You know, it's not easy, but we've learned to cope. But then at the end of the day, we are also just human. We are not perfect. Yeah, we all make mistakes, you know, but you should not hold that against me, you know, because come on, man, it's life. You sometimes you get overwhelmed and then you forget to do certain things, but not because you feel like you're above the law, because you're a celebrity, you can do whatever it is that you please. You just sometimes forget or you miss certain things. And sometimes they come, you regret, or they come bite you, you know. Yeah, but
how often do you think you have to act not as yourself just because there's someone watching? Maybe you love your beer, but now because you're a Sunny Boy, you have to drink.
You have to drink.
Measure. How many times do you have actually to give up yourself just to please the people?
The minute you step out of the door from your house, you have to put on that persona, or Sunny Boy. So everything that you do, you know, people don't even understand the fact that if you just step out there and you get in a taxi, they don't expect to see Sunny Boy in a taxi. They'll be like, what are you doing in a taxi? Where's your car? It's supposed to have a limousine or something, I don't know. But it's an everyday thing for us, you know, and like I say, we are only human. Sometimes you can even be in a bad mood and people are bothering you, they want to take selfies, but as hard as it is, you just have to do what you have to do, to maintain that, because it's what you chose. It comes with a package, which I don't regret. I love being me. I love being Sunny Boy. I enjoy it actually. It has its perks as well.
Indeed. No, I know. So one of those perks. Speaking of perks, one of those perks would be because you are Sunny Boy, you are famous, you are popular. How often do you get people throwing themselves at you? Maybe people of the opposite gender, just because. And how do you control these kind of things?
Well, people throw themselves at you because you are a public figure. They want to be associated with you. It doesn't even matter what gender it is. Yeah, you know, you find guys who just want to be seen with you. Call you at their parties. So when you show up, then they'll be like, you see, I know Sunny Boy. You know, just to get that, you know, the credit. As musicians, people get amazed by the talent or the way we can, you know, command like even a crowd. Like, how do you do it? It's like a power. It's a God-given power that you have to also handle responsibly. So, you know, for people like us, when we grow up, you have people throwing themselves at you all day, every day, you know, but it's fun. And then eventually, you know, you grow out of it, you realize, okay, fine. But it's not an easy thing. It's not an easy thing at all, because it's there constantly. And sometimes, like I say, we're not perfect. We are only human. You succumb to certain, you know, temptation, so you get drawn in. It's a matter of how you maintain or control that.
Exactly. So so this show is we take the Evening Review as a very serious platform. It's not a tabloid platform. So I mean, I'm not gonna, for example, ask about about issues also that came before the Saturday issue. You were still also being in that space.
I had other issues that were going on in my life.
Exactly.
But
are you at liberty to say anything at all about that? Maybe just to set the record straight.
All I can say is that, you know, certain things are not personal. I know we are public figures and all, but at the end of the day, we also have lives that we live. And sometimes you just want to keep it as it is.
Definitely. Let's talk, before we wind up, let's talk about music.
Okay.
So you came I mean, the first time I heard of you was with Coco with Gaza at the time.
Yeah, that's like my breakout song. But yeah, Gaza made me through some other songs.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah. You've never looked back since then. Are you in music for entertainment, or is it for business?
I'm in it for both. But I'm a creative. I think I was just born to be a creative. I love making music. I love entertaining people. But, you know, as you grow, then you realize that you need something to fall back on. And that's when, after that, you start also looking around into entrepreneurship, you know, open up businesses and stuff like that. So basically, that's the route I'm headed to as we speak,
Indeed.
Yeah.
And how is it as a business? Is it in the Namibian context? I know that globally it's a huge industry, but here at home, how is it? Can you pay your bills?
Yeah, we can pay the bills. Yeah. The music industry has grown enormously. Yes. At least now, even the corporates, the public sector, private sectors are also taking notice of us, and then they want to use our services into promoting their products, their brands. So that's when endorsement deals come through now. See? So it's a matter of, as an artist, you need to make sure that you work hard, remain relevant, and you know, make people want you or want to see you, associate with you. And if you are in that space, you know, at that stage, that's when the corporates want to, you know, to also work with you. So yes, music pays the bills. Yeah, it's not easy. You gotta work very hard, especially for our country where the population is quite less. You know, like if you look at our population, it's so less, and then you release an album in a very, you know, a small population. And then you have things like piracy. You release an album, you sell maybe a couple of copies through the first month. After that, people start making copies, and then they pirate the thing and start spreading it all over. That's when you go to even a Shabin, and then you find your CD there, but it's not even the original CD. So it's quite tough. But that's why, as musicians, we enjoy making music, but then when family comes into place, then you need to also start now looking at other ways of making money or making an income, so you can survive and pay the bills. Because it's not just about paying the bills. You got now school fees. Yeah, you need to have like insurance. Yeah, you know, death benefits, all those things. Yeah, so
indeed. And then so because corporates, those endorsements come in, they come in handy. They really pump a lot of money in your pocket. Is it therefore important that also the way you carry yourself, because I mean you are associating with brands of people, very. So somehow you have to somehow you have to always maintain that good perfect image of yourself. It's not easy, especially when, you know, people always blow things out of proportion. You do something little and then they make it big, especially on social media. Because you're a Sunny boy.
Yeah, because you're a Sunny boy. And you know, in social media, well, that's the era that we are all headed to. Yeah, and people are taking advantage of that because you don't even know the person, you know. But people, they start tarnishing your image just for doing something small. Like they are perfect themselves. It's not easy trying to maintain a perfect image for the corporates. But I would also like to believe that the corporates, they also see beyond that also, you know. They should also see beyond, not just because of what they are being told. They must also look into the matter themselves and see the type of person you are. If they can still, you know, work with you. I mean, we all make mistakes, like I say. Doesn't mean because I made this little mistake, you don't want to, you know, associate yourself with me anymore. We are only human. Yeah, unless you're doing something as horrible as R. Kelly.
Yeah, indeed. The final question to you, Mr. Shipushu, is just the way forward. How do you clean up your image, especially after the event of last weekend? How do you go forward in portraying yourself as a responsible person, as a responsible role model, and as a responsible brand ambassador of some sort? Well, it starts here. The evening review. You shed some light on what happened,
so people can understand, because sometimes people just hear word of mouth from one ear to another, the story changes. Yes. And until you actually, clear the whole air, people will always have a different perception of what happened or of you. So it starts here. You have interviews, you go on social media, you do videos, and you apologize to the people. Yeah, and and maybe do music, just to prove them to the guys. It's still me. Maybe do an apology song, whichever works for you to clean up your image, so you can remain relevant and people can still want to associate with you.
Indeed. Sunny, thank you for coming through, man.
No, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for having me. I hope I've shed some light on the incidents. Yes. I would also just like to say, COVID-19 is a very serious case, and nobody's above the law, so we must adhere to the rules. Yes, don't drink like the government says. It's prohibited. Maintain social distancing. And if you want to do things like online concerts and what, make sure that you get the permit and then you stick to the rules by 10 people in an area. Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah, very, very important. That's the only way we can overcome this, and then we can move on to our normal lives.
Indeed.
Yeah.
No, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
There was the man himself, Sunny Boy, reflecting on a couple of issues, including, of course, the events of last weekend. The man says that he took blame of some aspects of what happened, and hopefully it's inspiring us to be honest and also to understand what actually happened. My name is Taiwan Bella. It was a pleasure interviewing the man. Good night.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Evening Review. Also joining us today is Mr. Brian Jaftha of the Ganja Users of Namibia. Thank you and welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me.
Now, dagga or ganja is cited as an illegal drug, but what would you say are the benefits to the use of dagga?
Okay, first of all, we must come to a conclusion together. What is drugs? So that the nation out there at last have a clue what is drugs. Drugs is any substance or medicine that when it's taken in, that gives you a psychological effect. So it can be medicinal, or it can be not medicinal. It can be synthetic, or it can be natural, as long as it gives that psychological effect.
Okay.
So we have different kind of drugs. We have, in this case, we have cannabis, we have coffee, we have alcohol, we have cigarettes, we have sugar, you see. So we must check into the harms to compare these different kinds of drugs. So we take, like, for instance, heroin is the #1 in the drug list. So now we compare all these drugs with heroin. So if we can see cannabis is #8, it's even less than cigarettes and alcohol. It means it kills less people than these other two drugs. So that's why we think that cannabis should come out of that classification. And it's less than a soft drug, even if it don't classify it to be called as a soft drug as well.
Okay.
So cannabis don't fit there.
But what would you say are the benefits of using this cannabis? Are there any health
medicinal, because the plant itself has medicinal properties, you see. So it can be medicinal, beneficially to us. It can be industrial. Industrially, it can save the country by giving, like in this COVID times, it can give people that have lost jobs, it can give them jobs. We can see the pharmaceutical companies see cannabis as an alternative medicine, so we can, people that have lost jobs, we can join into this industry, we can boost our economy through it. And also people are very stressful, and it's a very good stress reliever, If people use this thing, they calm down their nerves.
Okay. And then It's often cited as a gateway drug. So if you start using cannabis, then people say it would lead to you getting into the other harder type of drugs. Is this true?
This reasoning has been around for 50 years now. The excuse. It's not a reasoning because there is no scientific proof, but it's an excuse to say that cannabis is a gateway drug. I would say it is a gateway drug, but in terms of it's a gateway to escape from other drugs. You understand what I'm trying to say? For you to, like for instance now, people, not that I say that the ban on alcohol is a good thing, but now that people don't have access to alcohol and the stress levels are up there and what, I think the alternative thing they can use now is cannabis. And people are reasoning that that you see the cannabis plant itself has compounds inside, the sativa plant. So those compounds, they are divided into, let's say, the two main compounds. There are more than 400 compounds, but there are two main. The others are related to these two, which is the THC in the cannabis and the CBD. So the one they say have nutritional values, properties, healing properties. The other one they say is psychoactive. It's mind altering. But my friend, why should you be afraid for your mind to be, for your psycho to be active? I mean, why can't we explore that? So for 50 years now, that reasoning is there that cannabis is a gateway. But of course, in a good way. You see, there was this boy that killed his 5 of his family members in Caprivi.
Arundu.
Is it Rundu?
Yes.
Okay. And they said it's because of cannabis. The boy wanted to smoke. Of course, the boy's stress levels was up there. He needed to calm down. If they could have let him smoke, everything could have been come to balance.
Now, you've led demonstrations where you've called for the legalization of cannabis. What proposals would you put forward to government to that would make them see this as a recreational drug?
Okay. Number one, we want decriminalisation. When we talk of legalization, we actually talk of legal regulation. We don't talk of everyone stand and smoke and what. We talk about the legal regulation, the same way they treat alcohol, the same way they treat tobacco. You know, we want it to be regulated. So if we say we ask the government to look into it, to see that the harms of cannabis, it's not equal to the harms of the prohibition. The prohibition on cannabis have more harms. The justice system is not improving the quality of the society by enforcing this prohibition. For instance, you get someone for the $20 of cannabis, he's a breadwinner, you put him in jail. To keep him in jail there, you pay $150 for the state, just to keep that person there. And remember, you caught him with $20 of value. Who is losing at the end of the day? The proportion, there's no balance in this justification. And there's the factor of privacy. You see, as an adult, me and you, we have certain rights that govern us in our constitution. And one of those rights are privacy. So as an adult, you have a right to decide what you put in your body, what to wear, how to sleep, and who to associate with. So as a government, they cannot decide to you what to wear and all those. This is a private choice. So they must grant us as adults to decide. Shaki Sangala last said, when he was still the Minister of Justice, said that no, there's other alternative ways to use medicines that can do the same that cannabis can do. But I mean, I have the choice to decide what to put into my body and what I think is effective for me, you see. So we ask the government to look into it because on a privacy case, you see, you burst into my house, find me smoking a joint on my couch. I ask you why you do this. You say, no, I'm saving you from yourself. Because in 30 years' time, you're going to die from this thing. And then by saving me, you are taking me to jail, where it's more dangerous. I can lose my life there. My whole life is standing still because I'm doing nothing. It's not justifiable, you know. So the government must look into that. And this, the whole policing of cannabis is behind the Drug Convention of 1961. Mm-hmm. So now, but even in that Drug Convention, they never said go around and put people in jail or burn cannabis fields. No, they said go and regulate this thing, go and make it illegal and control it, you know. So what they are doing now, it's not justifiable. So we ask our government to look into it. At least if they can just decriminalize it, let people not go in, because it's black people, it's breadwinners that goes to jail, you know. And it's not, the crime is not equal to the crime itself.
Okay.
You know.
And then last year you led a demonstration calling for the decriminalization of cannabis. How soon are you going to do such a similar demonstration again?
Okay, we went to, our first one was here in Windhoek, where we went to the parliament and gave them our petition, our grievances about the cannabis plant itself. And then we went to Rundu, because we have the same problem all over the country. We went to Rundu, we went to Oshakati, we went to Kietmans, mobilizing our people. And now the one now that we want now is to go to the general's office in Daitundwa. Mm-hmm. Yes, because we have a problem, because now these police, when they enforce this law, they burst into your house without a search warrant. And the Article 13 clearly say that the police cannot just burst into your house without a search warrant, searching your place, don't give you any reason for why they are doing this, you know. And then we are asking him that he must talk to his, and these people, they are treating the suspects also not equal. Because if they like you, they can put up the value of the cannabis. If they don't like you, you know. So there is also some corruption in the police force, and they come, they take money from the whatever, from the people, from the dealers or whatever, you know. So I think the word force must be taken away from the police, because the way they are handling stuff is not. So we want to go to his office and give our grievances about that. And then we asked the government, because they said, remember our petition is still there with the committee, so they say that no, the last government, the last parliament could not come to a conclusion, so we are waiting for the new parliament.
Okay. Yeah. And then you sued the police for alleged assault. What is the status of that case?
That case, actually, we are waiting because they don't want to accept. So the court put the case out again for us to bring up our evidence, and then we're going to check the way forward. But they are fighting a losing battle, because there was no state of emergency. 40 police officers to burst into my house like that. Even if there was a tipped off, they need the right people, because those people who were there is soldiers. They don't know how cannabis look like. They don't know how, but they come to look like. That's why they went the next day on TV and tell the nation that they found cannabis and mandrakes. And then the day after that, they come back again and say that no, actually it was not mandrakes, it was only cannabis. So it just shows you that these people are incompetent. They don't know what they are doing. They're supposed to, when they had a tip off that someone is selling what, they must send the relevant people, like the drug squad, because they know what they are doing. You can't send a general who don't know what is cannabis to my house. The next thing he goes on national TV and say he found mandrakes.
And then on a lighter note to conclude, the state of emergency in the lockdown, has it made it difficult to get cannabis?
You know, Namibia is buying a lot of cannabis from South Africa. We are actually making South Africa very rich through buying cannabis. That's why we are pleading to our government, to our president, to say that they must give us Rama tax, even if it's just 2 of those walls. And then in 1 year's time, 2 years' time, we're going to take Namibia out of its financial debt. That I guarantee you, my brother. Because this resource that we have, this natural resource, you see, Namibia relies on mining, and the sector in mining is diamonds, and diamonds is about to the sale of diamonds is coming down because there's a synthetic diamond that goes around. So Namibia is losing out. People don't know that the resources get finished, natural resources get finished. So we must change from diamond. And we have now this green gold, which we call cannabis, before us. You know, we have land. And this cannabis, you put less in, but you get more profit. It's not like diamond. Diamonds, the mining process is expensive, plus the selling process is expensive. Even though we get profit out of it, you know. So we must shift. Our government must allow us to get Rama tax and plant ganja and boost the economy of the country.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me on your show, brother man.
Thank you for tuning in.
Yes, I.